Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of the RnRGzrs show. I'm your host, Murph. And as always, my partner in crime, the co host, the man who knows what's happening music wise, and that would be Doc Fox. How's it going, Doc? How you
I'm
doing?
doing so well this week, Murph.
That's good to hear, man. Yeah, weather's starting to get a little bit better slowly. It's been one of them seasons so far, but we're ready to rock. We'll be rocking in a couple of weeks here, out on the
Oh yeah,
lawn there. So what do you got for today?
yep. Shows are starting soon. We got our passes. We're ready to roll.
You betcha.
So
Yeah.
our rock and roll topic for today, we've been doing our top 13s. Our top 13 today will be on trios. Great
Trios.
power trios in rock and roll history.
Big fan of rock trios. Man, oh man.
Yeah, a lot of bands, 4 or 5 more people to kind of fill out that sound, and some bands can just do it with 3 guys, man. So we're going to talk about them, starting with number 13,
Yeah.
little trio from Canada. Not that one. Not that one.
We're talking
Triumph.
There they are. Handsome suckers. Formed in 1975. I didn't know they put out 16 albums, for crying out loud, and DVDs. They had 18 gold, 9 platinum. That's not too bad. That's pretty good. I quite honestly, and to be quite honest about it, I wasn't really crazy about his voice. I just there was something about his voice. I don't know.
No, they had a decent sound for the time, and they came out right around the MTV time, and they had some videos on there, and they had some good albums, some good hits.
Yeah, late on the line, fight the good fight,
yeah.
Stuff like that. So
yeah, they were big in Canada. They went out. I think in '88, Rick Emmett tried to do a solo career, and I think they did one album without him, and then that was it. So, but yeah, good solid band for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh boy, I love this next one. These guys.
Next one, yes, I know this is a personal favorite of Murph's. King's X.
King's X. These guys are so cool. They're so badass and so underrated. It's one of those groups that just should have made it. That. Wow. Gretchen Goes to Nebraska, Dog Man, and all these other great albums, and three-piece harmonies, and just a great song. So it's a disappointment that they haven't gone bigger than they have. So
I think they were kind of a victim of a couple of things. I think, for one, I think just bad timing. Yeah. They had a big influence on what would become grunge, and even Pantera cited them as an influence.
I'm not surprised. Yeah.
So I think they just kind of had that bad timing where they were slightly ahead of their time, and then by the time the grunge movement came around, and where people would be more open to bands like King's X, they just, by that time, they'd kind of faded away.
They were so good. Formed in '79, they had 14 plus albums. Open for Cheap Trick, Iron Maiden, AC/DC, Scorps, Pearl Jam. Yeah, just
right.
They played the Woodstock '94. Is that the legendary one where everything? What the hell?
No, '99. Yeah, '99 was the.
Yeah, I thought so. They had one in '94. What the heck?
Yeah, they did 25-year anniversary in '94, and that one went off relatively smooth, and then '99 was when hell broke. But King's X, I think they were kind of misnomered as a Christian rock band. They even had a couple albums on the Christian rock charts. So their lyrics there was a lot of spirituality and that kind of thing, but
a lot of searching.
Yes, as far as Christian rock, no, they definitely weren't. But I think it maybe hindered their career a little bit. So
yeah, they did have a few songs on the MTV. They're in that time span where they had some Black Flag, and there was a few others that were on there, but just never quite made it. Oh, the next one, I'm very excited about this guy.
Give him a listen. Next one from the early '70s, James Gang.
Oh, there he is, Joe Walsh on the left, and I don't know who the other guys
and
are.
2 other guys. Yeah.
2 other guys. Well, let me tell you, Joe Walsh. Yeah. Wow, what a great 3-piece they were. Not a lot of people, they've heard of James, heard of them, but they're not really too familiar besides the songs Funk 49 and Walk Away.
Sure.
Yeah, the 2 big ones. But they were very deep. I've got a few of their. I've got their first three, including their live album. Where,
Right.
for instance, the song "Tend My Garden" is Joe Walsh on Hammond organ, bass player and drums, three piece. You know, because they're a three piece band. But he'd get on the Hammond organ and easily, kill on songs like "Tend My Garden." But just before he got to this is where I think he was at his best here. He's not playing organ with the Eagles. I mean, he was very versatile and really good, and a lot of good songs.
And ultimately, that's kind of why he left the band. He was kind of carrying too much of the load.
Yeah, no doubt.
When the James Gang started, they were a 5-piece, and there were guys coming in and out and going into the military and school and getting married and whatnot. And at one point, Joe Walsh was one of the guys coming through, and they went down to a 4-piece. They were opening up for Cream, and the fourth guy, Silverman, I can't recall his first name right now, but didn't show up, and so they went on as a trio and kind of stuck.
Well,
they had the 2 albums in, right, and then the live albums. After the third album, their Walsh's was kind of, hey guys, I'm writing everything, I'm singing everything, I'm playing everything.
Yeah.
I can't handle this load, and I'm gonna go do something else. So.
Well, they lasted for 5 years, basically, with the core of the group, and they actually did 6 albums after Joel left the band,
right.
which are basically who cares, because those first 3.
That's what we all think of.
Jeez, just amazing. Oh, I can't. I forgot the name of the first one. The second one is Rides Again, and
Your Album is the first.
Your Album, that's right. Rides Again, and then their live album. How great was that? Right. Excellent, good band, good band.
All right, moving on. Our number 10, the same era, Grand Funk Railroad.
Grand Funk Railroad, there they are. A lot of people don't know, but they started out as a 3-piece before they got the keyboardist and got all I don't know.
Yeah, I've always thought of them as a trio. I saw them a few years back, maybe about 10, 12 years ago, when they were 4-piece then.
They were a powerhouse 3-piece. Their first about 3 or 4 albums, On Time, the Red Album, and then they put out the live album and Survival on the same year. I believe that would have been 71. But their bass player, Mel Schacher, he actually played bass for Question Mark and the Mysterians. What was their hit? 96 Tears. Yeah. So how about that? But boy, were they a powerful band. And I love that. I basically cut my teeth on this band playing guitar, because they were right up my alley, right up the time frame. And I learned a lot on that live album. And live album was just noisy and you could hear the feed, it was just a raw quality, great album. And the bass tone is just mind blowing. They
kind of had a series of different legal troubles, and now there's 2 different versions. And
Well, Mark Farner's American Band or whatever, who does they do it well. They do it like the original band did. And actually, we're going to be seeing Grand Funk Railroad this year. I think they're playing behind like Sammy or somebody. Oh. They're on the schedule for they're opening for somebody who's opening for one of them. I can't remember which one, but we're going to be seeing them, and I'll probably be booing them because they're without Mark Farner. Forget about it. Come on.
Yeah, they had their day. They sold out Shea Stadium faster than the Beatles. We all heard that, and now they kind of start trying a little bit too hard for the hits. Redoing the Locomotion, that kind of thing.
Yeah. But some real good raw stuff, especially on Time. So the Red albums are really fairly good. Survival's very good, and the live album's excellent. And then after that, they went 4-piece, and I gave up. I gave up all hope after that. So
just real quick before we move on,
sure.
Their song "Closer." I'm getting
closer to home.
Was voted favorite song from Vietnam veterans when they were in Vietnam. So
I'm not surprised. I played that song actually recently. I played that song, and the lyrics I can understand with them wanting to get home. Boy, oh boy, cool. Very cool.
All right, moving on to number 9.
Yeah,
moving up about 20 years to Green Day.
Boom. Armstrong. Yeah, good punk. I can't believe these cats get hassled about, are they a punk band or have they sold out? I read that and think, mind your own damn business. whoever the hell's talking, asking if they're an actual band. Get a guitar, get a 3-piece together, and put together some of them great songs, especially on Dookie, that really got the ball rolling, and then come back and complain about them. But as far as I'm concerned, they're excellent, man. Them excellent 3-piece songs.
Well, kind of being from the old school punk, like myself, they kind of rehashed some old punk, but at the time, they brought it to the popular culture,
Yeah, 1987 they come out.
I'm glad they did. Yeah, Dookie didn't really come out to what, like 93, I think.
Oh, it was their third album. So
they had, that was the first major. They had a couple independents, and then they put that out. And American Idiot's a great album. Man.
Songwriting's everything, man. Yeah,
that's right up there for me. So
he's just a great songwriter, and that's all it takes. It's just if you got good songs,
some of their sound was kind of rehashed from some old classic punk bands like Stiff Little Fingers and bands like that. But hey, they brought it to the forefront, and God bless them.
Yeah, made a ton of money. And sorry if they don't like it, punks, but got to make money, for crying out loud. Oh, all right.
Number 8.
Oh, got to bow down for the mighty. Bow down for the mighty Lemmy.
Lemmy.
Wow. Oh, so great. Good riddance. Lemmy, the original. Is that the original there? Is that that's Phil Filthy Animal Taylor and Fast Eddie Clark, I believe. The ones that were with him.
No, that's not the originals. That is Mickey D.
Oh, that's Mickey D. You're right. Yeah.
And the drummer and Phil Campbell.
Filthy Taylor and Fast Eddie Clark. They basically recorded all the real prime stuff.
Yeah, they're all and that whole lineup's gone now, unfortunately. But
yeah.
Mickey D's now with the Scorpions of all bands, but Motorhead, man. They, like I said, they were that link from the hard rock of the 70s into that the new wave of British metal with Iron Maiden and Priest and those bands, and even they were even heavier than those bands,
balls to the wall.
Lemmy wanted to be a punk band. Lemmy thought they were more of a punk band. Lemmy wanted to be the MC5.
Who can blame him?
Yeah.
You can blame him. Well, Lemmy, he was a guitar player. Well, he was in a group called Hawkwind, which was like the most god awful group on God's green earth. I'm just personal opinion there, but they were just horrible. But he was a guitar player there, and then took up bass.
Please comment below, Hawkwind fans.
Please, butcher me, damn it! I just didn't get on that space stuff. We were listening to Zeppelin and Uriah Heep and ELP and Who and all that stuff back then. So Hawkwind was like way
God bless
there.
Lemmy, man. I mean,
the
was it the National Beverage Magazine or something like that as officially named the Jack and Coke the Lemmy.
The Lemmy, yeah.
God bless him,
they started. I think I started at the bar where he used to frequent too. So.
Yeah, at the Rainbow there. He just had his spot there in front of the Joker poker machine, and that's where you can find him. Yeah, I saw Motorhead just about 3 months before he died, and
really,
he did not seem well. Well, he died in December. I saw him in September, and he did not seem well then. And
I saw him back in the '90s, or maybe it was in the 2000s. One of the Ozfests. I packed up my 13-year-old and took him to Ozfest, open his eyes, and he was still in prime shape. But you're right. Yeah. I saw a video on YouTube of his last performance before they took it down. They took it down shortly after, but I was lucky enough to see his last performance, and he was extraordinarily frail. But the music and the bomber,
one of a kind, man.
The bomber, with the lights, the bomber above him coming down the stage and going back, just mind blowing. That was stunning. I wish they'd at least put that back up because it's legendary, regardless of what.
They probably have a DVD coming out or something, so they wanted to.
I hope they got something because that was really something, just out of this world.
All right, number 7. Prog rock giants, ELP, Emerson, Lake and Palmer.
There they are.
I thought they should get another guy in there with the name H, and it'd be H-E-L-P. Help.
Or Yelp, yeah.
Yelp.
Yosef, yes. Yash. Yash, Emerson, Lake and Palmer. There you go.
But, wow, talk about a sound out of 3 guys. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. 9 gold records. Geez. I was lucky enough to be in age where, with older brothers and whatnot who listen to all this stuff, and I You just got into it. You couldn't help it. ELP, first album, Tarkus. Tarkus was amazing. Pictures at an Exhibition, great. Trilogy, great. And then Brain Salad Surgery.
Right.
Boom. You know, they really hit the mark on that one. But yeah, a three-man band. Obviously, most of you know the unique thing about them was they were a keyboardist, a bass player, and drummer. So he covered a lot of space.
Yeah, for sure.
It's amazing. They did a show real quickly. I think it was a California Jam. It's on YouTube. ELP at the California Jam. He's on a grand piano, sitting at his grand piano, and he's sitting at the grand piano playing. And on the side, he must have hooked up a fork truck with a pallet, a barrel dumper behind the curtain. So the whole grand piano lifts up and then starts doing a barrel roll while he's playing on it. It's you have to see it. It's I believe it's a California Jam. Emerson, Lake and Palmer. You'll see it. It's on YouTube somewhere, and it's
Nice.
he did it only once because it was so damn dangerous. And that's sensible man. But it was recorded for posterity, so that's good enough for me.
All right.
Woo.
Moving on to number 6, one of my favorites, little old band from Texas, ZZ Top.
There they are. I'm working on my beard. I'm working on it, man. You know,
Billy Gibbons, one of the great guitar players, man, of all time.
Absolutely.
He was Jimi Hendrix's favorite guitar player, so they say. So
yeah, 15 LPs under their belt. Started out in '69. Their big hit came Tres Hombres. That's when they broke open in '73, and that's when I found them. And what a great album! So many great songs in there. Master of Sparks, and of course their hits that their main hits. And then they even found a second breath, if you will, on the MTV,
right,
with all those cool legs, cars and legs, and
yeah, their 70s and 80s were almost, I won't say two different bands, but definitely two different sounds. And
exactly,
and they were the longest running same lineup in rock and roll history, 51 years, same three guys. Wow. So up until Dusty Hill recently passed, and they'd already worked it out when he passed. The guitar tech, a guy named Elwood Francis, is going to be he's the replacement. He's joined right in. He's got a kind of a funky beard too and everything. But ZZ Top, man, they just they've been out there on the road for this whole time. They've never stopped.
Yeah. They didn't stop. Yeah. Dusty died. Oh well, we could put the roadie on the bass and let's go. Boom.
Let's
they never even slowed down.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Just there's a really good documentary. I think it's on Netflix, one of the streaming services, Hulu perhaps. But check that out, ZZ Top. Yeah, great
Absolutely. Band. Moving on. Let's talk about these guys here.
Moving up to the Police.
Police, there they are. Yeah.
Police started, late 70s, kind of jumping onto the punk thing a little bit.
77.
Yeah, Stuart Copeland wanted to kind of more into punk and reggae, and Sting wasn't really about that, but he saw it as an opportunity. And I kind of felt like his heart wasn't in it. You kind of tell it by his music they did afterwards. But they got Andy Summer in. He was 10 years older than those guys, and he said he'd do it, but it's got to be a 3-piece. And he was right, man. And
75 million records sold. That's a lot.
Yeah, they did 5 studio albums, and 4 of them are on Rolling Stone's list of 500 greatest of all time. So definitely had an impact in a short time. And,
hell yeah.
Love the Police.
Sure enough. Moving on. Oh, here we go.
Moving into some of the biggies here. Number 4, Nirvana.
There they are. Handsome looking guys. Get a haircut, all right? Jeez. Punks.
Nirvana, well documented, and everybody knows Nirvana and what they've done in the history of rock and roll. They weren't always a 3-piece. One point in '89, they had another guy, Jason Everman, another guitar player, and then right at the end there, if you watch the MTV Unplugged, they have another guitarist, Pat Smear, who was famously with the punk band The Germs.
You said Pat Smear or Pap Smear?
Pat Smear.
Okay, all right. Okay.
He's with the Foo Fighters now.
They only had 3 albums.
Yeah.
You know, a short-lived Bleach in '89, the big one, Nevermind in '91, and In Utero in '93,
Yeah.
and then that was it. Wow.
Yeah, they put out another one in between, Insecticide. That was kind of B-sides and outtakes and things like that. It wasn't like a real true studio album. But a lot of people don't know Dave Grohl was the sixth drummer for Nirvana. I mean, they went through drummers like Spinal Tap, man, and they ended up with Dave Grohl, and obviously his success with the Foo Fighters. I mean, he was more than just a drummer. So
yeah. All right, let's move it down. Move on down the line here.
Number 3, the Jimi Hendrix Experience.
There he is. Yeah, really. He was just beyond cool for back then. He wore clothes that nobody else ever thought of. Just totally iconic. And boy, look at that hair. Jeez.
And they were a trio. People realize, Jimi Hendrix never did a solo. So I mean,
solo
album.
They were a trio, even though he basically laid down all the rules on what they're gonna do. They're a trio. You've seen them all over the internet and stuff playing. So yeah, it's just wow. What do you say about it, man? 67, Are You Experienced? 67, Axis Bold as Love came out. So he put out 2 albums in that year. 68, Electric Ladyland. Some of his greatest stuff right there. Those 3 albums, boom. He just a flash, boom, and then he's gone. 27 Curse.
For some of you youngsters that have not seen this, do yourselves a favor and look up Jimi Hendrix at Monterey Pop Festival. This was his coming out party. It was a lot of artists coming out party in America, particularly. Jimmy was kind of known over in England a little bit, but it's kind of funny. He had to, he came up, he'd been a session musician, played with Little Richard and all those guys, and went over to England and kind of found his groove over there, really.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He was really making it in England. They brought him back here from Monterey, and boy, his set was just, it blew people away. My particular favorite on that set was Like a Rolling Stone. He did Bob Dylan's song Like a Rolling Stone. His guitar work is just stunning. He's an amazing rhythm guitarist. Playing the rhythm parts. He just did things that they became Hendrix chords and stuff like that. And then of course he burned his guitar during Wild Thing and made thus started the legend right there. Boom.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We could do a whole show on Legend of Jimi Hendrix. That's for sure.
Oh, absolutely. All right, what do we got coming up?
Number 2 trio. This is the one I always thought kind of started the power trio thing off, and that's Cream.
There they are.
The cream of the crop, and then they were
looking like they're getting ready to go out and be crossing guards or something. That's pretty bizarre, especially Ginger. How come the cool hat? Oh, they were so cool. They were the first super group. Yeah. And wow, they burned brightly but shortly. They formed in '66.
Really, it's a wonder they got together at all.
Yeah, tell me about it, man. Come on.
How they kind of got together. Ginger Baker and Jack Bruce had played together for a short time before, just hanging around in the same scene. And they couldn't stand each other. They just really could not stand it. They were at each other's throats. I mean,
I hate you, Ginger. You suck.
I hate you,
you wanker. Yeah.
So,
well, they got together somehow.
So, Eric, was doing his things with John Mayall, and Ginger had just come from seeing him, and they were talking and actually driving off somewhere. Ginger was driving, and they were talking about getting a band together, the 3 of them, or get a 3-piece together. Excuse me. And Clapton says, "Oh, if we do it, I would have to have Jack Bruce."
Oh, geez.
And Ginger about drove off the side of the road. That's like the last guy that he would want to be in a band with.
Bloody fucking hell.
That's the one guy Clapton wanted. But
there you go.
Like I said, they burned brightly for a short time. They were the cream of the crop, man.
They had Fresh Cream, Disraeli Gears, Wheels of Fire, and Goodbye. Wheels of Fire was the first platinum double album. So
yeah, that's right.
Good on them for that. Real quickly here, let's go through some honorable mentions before we get to our number 1.
Okay. A few other 3-piece that have left a mark. Primus, good old Les Claypool.
He's crazy.
Yeah, just,
There he is. Yeah.
Just bass virtuoso.
Yeah. Just listen to the South Park theme. You know what we're talking about.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Okay, coming up next.
Another early one, Blue Cheer.
Blue Cheer.
One of the very, very first, if not
Ain't
the
no
first.
cure for the summertime blues.
Yeah, they were all about cranking it all the way up to 11, man.
Summertime blues, flip side, Out of Focus. Very cool. Very cool. And I love these guys.
And another one, don't forget about the Stray Cats.
There they are.
They kind of seem a little bit like a novelty act, but they could play, man. They could rock. And
yeah, Brian Setzer, Lee Rocker, and Slim Jim Phantom.
Slim Jim Phantom.
With names like that, you got to be badass. And they were truly badass, man. Okay, now
our number one. I think y'all know who it is at this point. No drum roll necessary. Top trio of all time would be Rush.
Rush, there they are. Wow. What can you say? Jeez.
Virtuosity at every position. Yeah, just Rush is one of those bands not everybody's into. I've kind of had my moments even of what's the big deal with Rush, but then you listen to them some more and you understand they're a great band. I mean,
there they are doing the benefit for Princess Di right there on South Park. South Park really sort of skewed them a little bit, but it's all fun and games. But yeah, Rush, geez. Their first album was basic straight rock and roll. And then the Fly By Night, their second album, came out and they had a song called By Torn of Snow Dogs, where suddenly you start getting a hint that they want to start stretching things out and we go beyond the normal song. And that's basically, I think, By Torn a Snow Dog was where they basically started from that point on,
developing their sound. Yeah.
The next one was Caress of Steel, and that was very experimental. And then, of course, the legendary 2112. Boom. Sure. Wow. Farewell to Kings, Hemispheres, Permanent Waves, Moving Pictures, Signals, Caress, all these great albums. Hemispheres. Just a legendary band.
Yeah, they're definitely one of those bands. If you listen to their catalog, like you're talking about, you can see the progression. You can see from Permanent Waves to Moving Pictures, and before the Hemispheres, and you can see that progression all the way through their careers like that.
Yeah, and they ended up with radio-friendly songs that were still kick-ass. Everybody air drums to the Professor on some of them songs. You can't help it. But I saw them a couple times in the late 70s, and boy, oh boy, they were just so on their game. Especially at one time at the Aragon Ballroom, and that was a really great night. That such a great tight band, and they wrote it out right to the end. They were great right to the end. And the thing about them is they took the three-piece deal to the maximum. Yeah, they did everything you could with the keyboard, the synthesizer, the bass pedals, she's Getty playing all that at once, and Alex has got pedals. So they took the three-piece to the optimum. The beautiful thing is, though, they could basically do their albums live, and when you hear their album and you hear all that complexity, and imagine they're doing all that live, that's your number one three-piece band right there. Just phenomenal band.
Yeah, for sure.
2112.
Yeah, 2112 is when I got hip to them, then I started going back, and it was like right at the time when it came out, and everybody in the neighborhood loved that one.
Margarita.
They and then a lot of people don't realize too, Neil Peart was the lyricist. He wrote the lyrics too. So I mean, talk about just a three-piece of everybody doing everything, kind of.
He was well read, and boy, he a big fan of Ayn Rand, and a lot of their lyrics were about that. But he was just, he's what they needed, and boy, wow, they definitely took the three-piece.
Right, and he came in on the second album. I don't know if a lot of people know. They had originally a guy named John Rutsey.
Yes,
was on the debut album. Not sure the story how they got Neil, but boy, I'm glad they did. And Rutsey,
go away, eh? Take some
another
back.
guy.
Here's some back bacon. Go away.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got this guy named the Professor. Oh, geez. I saw a picture of a Professor today when he was like probably in his early teens and he had like a 4-piece drum set in his living room. Very cool. Very cool. Cool on his parents for letting him play. Because if if you're a parent of a drummer, you know.
Right.
So yeah, a lot of good 3-piecers there, and all of them impressive. When you know the thing about a 3-piece, if you're a guitar like the guitarist, you can't make a mistake because there's no rhythm guitars back there
To hold you up, sure.
Yeah, backing you up. You're all on your own. You're exposed. So yeah, you got to give all the 3-piece bands a big high five. And say
All
yeah,
right.
good job. Well, that was excellent, Doc. Fucking A, man. Pardon my French, but this was a good one. And next week we've got a little different. I think we're gonna shy away from the 13 list for a show or two, but nonetheless, can't wait till next week, man. I can't. Yeah, should we fill them in or no?
Sure.
Go ahead, let it go, man. Go ahead, Bob.
Next week we got it's Memorial Day weekend, and we're going to look at rock and rollers that have served in the military.
Yeah,
and it's quite a list, and some people you were probably aware of, and some people you probably were not aware of. So, yeah, hope to tune in
good for them. Good,
please subscribe so you get our notifications. You don't have to watch every show, but please subscribe. It really, really help us out.
Absolutely.
And it doesn't cost you anything.
Yeah, that's the beauty of it, ain't it? Excellent, man. Well, thanks a lot, Doc, and we will see you next week, eh?
Absolutely.
Have yourself a good one.
Have a great rock and roll filled week, everybody.